Hey guys, all right, now we got the forward controls on the motorcycle and looking pretty good. We're gonna move over to this derby cover right here. Yeah, that's pretty ugly, okay? I like skulls, don't get it wrong. I'm just not a big fan of this one. So I picked up a stock derby cover, and now I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to take the derby cover off, how do you adjust the clutch on the Sportster Evolution motor, and the torque specs, torquing sequence, and just how simple it is to get this changed over and looking good. Okay guys, basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this cover. Like I said, I like skulls, but I don't like this. I don't like that look. It doesn't look good on this motorcycle. We're gonna get it off, and we're just gonna install a regular plain Jane derby cover on here. Pick this up off eBay for 16 bucks, okay? Plus shipping. I think shipping was like another $8 on top of it. So not too much, not too expensive. Comes with everything you need. It comes with the brand new hardware. It's already got blue Loctite on it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this, and then I'm gonna go through the sequence on how to adjust the clutch. We're gonna put the new one on, show you how simple this really is. So basically I'm gonna take my T27 Torx, and I'm just gonna break all these loose. Now you want your bike on a stand. The reason why is you want your bike straight up and down, because if it's leaning on the kickstand, or the jiffy stand as people like to call it, it will leak primary fluid. So the bike needs to be straight up and down. If you don't have a motorcycle table, you can get a motorcycle jack, put it up underneath of it, lift the bike up. Either way, you can have a buddy come over and sit on the motorcycle just to hold it straight up and down. But it needs to be straight up and down or it will leak. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this out. Now, if you notice, it's spring loaded. There's a spring underneath here. So you don't wanna just pull the cover off because you run the risk of losing the spring. So I'll back everything off pretty good. And then I'll slowly, one by one, while keeping pressure on the derby cover, take the bolts out. Screws. It's not a tremendous amount of pressure, but it's enough to where you need to be aware of it because it will spring out at you. And trust me, you don't want to lose it. And that's it. Okay, cover's off. This is the spring that I was telling you about. So I go ahead and drop it for you, right? The inside cover has a little circle, so this spring rests right inside of there. It's pretty important. You don't want to lose it. Basically what this spring does is this locks your clutch adjustment into position so that once you adjust it, it's not going to come undone while you're riding. So take this off. Now what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the clutch. Now I have already released the tension or put slack in the clutch cable itself. So everything is loose. All you do is take a flathead screwdriver in here, turn it clockwise to loosen it up. Slowly rotate counterclockwise until you feel just a little bit of pressure. Just a little bit of drag. Now you can continue to keep turning counterclockwise, but all you want to do is loosen it up, turn it back counterclockwise till you feel just a slight bit of pressure. When you feel that slight bit of pressure, you're going to want to back it off a quarter of a turn. So let me go through that again for you. I loosen it up by turning it clockwise. I turn it counterclockwise until I feel a little bit of drag. And I'll back this off a couple times to feel it. Right there, I feel it. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it a quarter of a turn. So it's going this way and I want it to go this way. So I'm just going to take it here. Quarter of a turn. That's it. Then you go ahead and you take this and you put it right back on. It only goes on one way. You can see the slot in it, the slot of your adjuster. Put it in, and there it is. Now that's going to hold that in place for you, so as you're riding, it's not going to come free. Now the reasons why you do this is to get a little more adjustment out of your lever, or if you feel your bike is dragging and starting to pull away from you, even when you have the clutch fully pressed in, might be time for you to do a clutch adjustment. Like to clean everything up a little bit, put the new seal in. Now I have already taken this old one off and put the new one on, and completely forgot about videoing it for you guys, so I'm kind of going back through my steps again. So I apologize to you, but all we do now is get the center of this, center of that. You kind of want to put it on as straightforward as you possibly can, because that spring is going to sit right down inside there, and there it is. Now this new derby cover came with new hardware. And the new hardware has blue Loctite on it already, if you can see that. Never use red Loctite. This clutch adjustment is something that you need to do regularly, honestly. There is specific intervals. Check your service manual, your owner's manual for maintenance records. Maintenance references as to when to do it. But you definitely don't want to use red Loctite because you won't be able to get these things out. And because these are a Torx bit, you run an extremely high chance of stripping these, the heads of these out. So blue Loctite only. Now the torque spec on this is between 7 to 9 foot-pounds. Excuse me, 7 to 9 foot-pounds. You can either use a foot-pound torque wrench, a foot-pound torque wrench, or like I have this little 1/4 inch torque wrench. This actually reads in inch-pounds. And if I'm not mistaken, 7 foot-pounds is the equivalent of 84 inch-pounds. You can just get on Google and search foot-pound to inch-pound conversion, and it'll tell you what you need. But you want to torque it in a star pattern because you want the pressure to be evenly distributed over the derby cover. You don't want to warp it. So if I were to start here and work my way around, these will get real tight, and then I'm sucking it in over here. Well, you run the risk of actually bending and warping the cover. So it's like putting wheels on, man. You're going to do it in a star pattern. So I like to snug that up, snug that up. I snug this up. Just snugging this up. Notice how I went from here to here to here to here. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten it, torque it down to 84 inch-pounds. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know if there's a certain one you're supposed to start with. I don't know if that even really matters. So I'm just going to start with this one. And I'm going to keep tightening these down until they're about ready to go. So they're about ready to get to the position of torquing, and you'll hear the torque wrench click. So run this one down. Right there. Come down here. Right there. You hear that click? And that's it. Clutch is adjusted, derby cover's on. Only thing left to do is clean it up. That's it. Looks so much better than that Skull derby cover. Now this is just a plain Jane stock derby cover, but that Skull one was completely out of place on this motorcycle. So that's it. Clutch is adjusted. Only thing left to do now is take the slack out of the clutch lever. So let's go do that. All right, guys, now that we got the clutch adjusted, what we need to do is we got to take the slack back out of this lever. Now you want probably about a 1/16 of play. So I'm just going to turn this adjuster down here to take the slack out of this until I have about a 1/16 of play in this lever. 1/16 of an inch of play. See, if I keep tightening it, it barely moves. See, right there, there's like no give. So I'm gonna back her off. I think that's about good. Clutch feels good. So I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna lock this jam nut. That's it. Squirt a little lubrication down in here, a little WD-40. I might not even need to do that. Check that out. All right, she's going. And there we go. And that's it, man. That's how easy it is. Putting on forward controls and just cleaning the bike up by putting a basic stock derby cover on it. Two of the most easiest things that I've ever done. Now, I did run into one issue with the forward controls on the other side, like I had mentioned earlier about the bracket didn't go straight on it. You had to fish one end behind the mounts on the frame. But once I got that all squared away, the bolts lined up, everything was fine, and it's done. And just like that, we have a good looking motorcycle. Let me walk around to the other side. Let me take you on the other side and let you check it out. But this is what it looks like from the front. Coming over here to the other side, that's pretty much it. Ah, I'm tripping, I'm falling. And as you can look down here, you can see how the threaded rod threads into the brake master cylinder. That's it. Looks good. Looks good. Looks real good. Like I said, this bike already had forward controls on it. They were just really rusted, pitted, and beat up. And I just wanted to clean it up a little bit, make it look better. I got those off of Amazon for 119 bucks. Were they the best that money can buy? No, there's forward controls out there for this motorcycle that are way better than these, far superior. This is the budget bobber, okay? We're sticking to a very strict budget on this motorcycle, and these were in the budget. So we got them. They look good. They're gonna work perfect. And believe it or not, what's going to happen to them is they are going to get dingy over time because they're not the best quality. And that is going to add to the appearance of the motorcycle. This aluminum right here is kind of dingy and dull. And I mean, obviously I need to wash it and clean it all up, but everything is dull. And these are very shiny, but they're going to dull over time. They're going to fit the bike. Everything's going to look good. So effectively, that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Like Squad, smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. And This is Big Show saying, doesn't take a lot of money to have a lot of fun. See you guys next video.